All right, this is Deanna Marie, and welcome back here to the Clusie. And today we're going to be talking about who he is. Okay, so let's get started. All right, today's Bible verse is going to be Matthew chapter 8, verse 26. So, open up those Bibles, get in the Word, let God speak to you what he wants to speak to you about, pray, and open up the lines of communication. Okay, at this point in the Bible, the disciples have seen Jesus do miracle after miracle after miracle, and they all get in a boat together. Jesus is sleeping, and all of a sudden this storm comes along. Now, this wouldn't have been like a normal storm, and the reason I think that is because these men were fishermen beforehand. They would have been used to the water, and they know what storms are, and they know how everything works. And so this wouldn't have been something that would have been like kind of normal to them because they are terrified, okay? And they cry out to God and they say, basically like, save us. And Jesus basically wakes up, says, why are you so scared? Why do you have so little faith? And then he makes everything stop, and then everyone marvels at him. So what does that mean for you? When it comes down to it, you guys, I know a lot of people are going through a lot of difficult things right now. I see it in my DMs. I hear it on live sometimes. Who is God to you? Who is he? What type of power does he have? Because the God that I serve, he can part the seas. He came back from the dead. He made everything. He can do anything at any point in time. So that is a good question to ask yourself sometimes when you are scared, when you're looking at things and you have anxiety and you're like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. It doesn't matter. If you have God on your side and he is for you, it doesn't matter who's against you. It doesn't matter what people did to you. It doesn't matter who stole from you. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because you have a God that can stop anything at any point in time with just a word out of his mouth. And you need to think about that, because sometimes you have to go through stuff especially, I always tell you guys, if God is going to use you or he chooses you and stuff, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be a walk in the park, because there's a lot of things that you have to learn along the way. One of them, the most important thing, being empathy for others, because you can't serve others with the right type of heart and do the right types of things and not go through anything. That's a special kind of person that has an empathetic heart, and it's very rare nowadays. So a lot of people that God uses and stuff like that, they don't have the easiest life. You know, they go through a lot of difficult things. David, before he became king, he had to go through setback after setback after setback for no reason other than God saying, hey, this is going to make you a better person in the long run. This is going to make you a better king. I have a really big plan that is coming over your life, and you have to have the right type of heart. Otherwise, you are going to destroy everything, just like Saul. So he went through his little boot camp to become king. Moses, the same thing. Moses was being groomed to be the next Pharaoh of Egypt, right? He had to go out in the middle of the desert, sit out there for years and just wait and wait and wait. And then by the time God said, all right, now it's time to do what you tried to do beforehand, he was like, I don't want to do it. He was described as the most humble man in the Bible, because that's what it took to get him to the point where he was going to live his purpose out. But he also knew who God was. Both of those two knew who God was and the power that God had. You know how I know that? David walks up in there and he says to Goliath, I don't need anything to defeat you because God's on my side. That's what he says. Moses does the same thing. At first, he's a little timid with Pharaoh, and he's like, let my people go, and he goes in there. And then by the end of it, he's saying, either you do this or I'm out of it, because God is going to this is happening one way or the other, because God has said, let my people go. And you need to learn that he can do anything. He can do anything. Anything. You want something, pray, ask with the right heart. But sometimes when you ask for something, if you ask for that marriage and you ask for something, you have to go through a little bit of a boot camp to get you to that point. You have that going on. You have the enemy trying to stop it because now you're in your purpose. There's so many things that go on, but it doesn't matter about the storm going on the outside, like what was going on with those men, because they knew who to call out to. Hey, save us. And then God said, hey, you have little faith? I got this. Stop. Everything become calm. And then guess what? When all of that stuff happens, you see God for who he really is. So you need to think about that. What type of God do you serve? Big God, little God. God that can control anything, and I mean anything. Or the type of God that you put him, he's in a little box over here and he can only do little things. And then occasionally he'll pop out like the Jackbox and then he does this. And then you determine all of that. So I suggest you have the big faith and you let God do some big things in your life and you walk around like that. Stop walking around with this fear and anxiety. If you're scared, call out to him. He's the one that can stop the storm and stop everything. Okay? So you guys sit back and you think about that, okay? You think about God and who he really is, all right? All right, so anyways, like, share, subscribe, and comment as always, and I will see you guys back here next time.